I blame myself.
So do I.
No sense worrying about it now.
Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
Yep. Let's get ready. Switch me on.
Well, that's great. Either I have a monster in my kitchen or I'm completely crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
That makes me feel so much better. Are you the keymaster?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
If the ionization rate is constant for all ectoplasmic entities, we could really bust some heads. In a spiritual sense, of course.
What's going on, Ghostheads? It's another episode of the Ghostheads radio show. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me once again is the one and only Matty B. That guy right here.
Oof, you see that koozie, boys? Ghostbusters San Antonio. Let's go. Let's have a show.
That's why you picked this color, match your koozie. And you got the background going too. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
What's going on, folks? We're back again for our weekly show. Say what's up in the chat. We have a very special show for you guys. We have another Ghostbusters chapter to highlight today. If you've been keeping up with us, we've been highlighting Ghostbusters chapters across the country because they do a lot of good work in the community. They help out a lot of people. They visit schools, they visit hospitals, they raise funds for charity organizations, and we want to give them a spotlight, let them be seen, acknowledge all the great things that they're doing, and we want you guys to learn how you can support them going forward. So, without further ado, we'd like to welcome to the Ghostheads radio show the Bay Colony Ghostbusters, Chris and Ramon. What's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah, what's up, boys?
How's it going?
Oh man, chat's already going. Damon's in the chat, says, "What's up and how was everybody's Labor Day weekend?" Let's start with our guests. How about that, Chris, Ramon? How was your Labor Day weekend? What did you guys do to celebrate?
I pretty much just sat around the house, worked on my proton pack. That was about it.
You're doing it right. You're doing it right. Ramon, how about you, sir?
Well, unfortunately for me, I tend to work a lot. So on Memorial Day, Labor Day. Well, actually, no, I had a whole day off that day. So, but I mean, typically I work on a daily basis. So, but essentially just relaxing at home, catching up on rest, and just streaming some shows.
There you go. Hardworking gentlemen, just like a member of a Ghostbusters team would. So yeah, we appreciate that. Bryce is in the chat, says, "What's up? What's going on, Bryce? Good to see you again."
Who's Bryce?
What's going on, Bryce?
Hey, how's it going?
You know who Bryce is. It's your buddy.
Yeah.
It's your buddy Bryce.
That's true.
All right. So Bay Colony Ghostbusters, gentlemen, again, thanks for being here. Tremendous. We really appreciate you guys agreeing to do this. And our first question is an easy one. We want to know, because everybody has a very unique story about how they got involved with either a chapter or started a chapter. So we want to hear your stories. Ramon, why don't you start out? Because you founded this chapter, and I'm not sure if both you guys started it or just you yourself, but tell us how the chapter came to be.
Well, yeah, we both brought the chapter get together. Originally, the main founder is Chris. He's the one that originally started the group all together. Me, when I first started getting into fundraising and everything, I was kind of new to it, and at first I tended to just move around a lot. So, I mean, there was a couple of previous chapters beforehand, and aside from that, I was just more of a freelance. I met Chris at one of our parades down in Boston, so the St. Patrick's Day parade, and there was a whole bunch of different franchises from all over, just converging into one area, and we came together under Ghostbusters United, and just marched through most of downtown Boston. So it was very cold. It was very cold. It's one of the downsides of marching in the parade. It's how cold it is.
That was in 2016.
Yeah, that was
Really?
2016.
That was actually the first day we met.
I remember
Fantastic.
I had to add like triple layers of clothing underneath my flight suit just so I wouldn't, turn into a popsicle. You know.
That's hilarious because in San Antonio we have to do the opposite. I've been trying to figure out how to not be so hot in the suit. Imagine running a parade when it's 102 degrees outside in a flight suit and a proton pack. I honestly, boys, I think I'd rather flip flop with you.
Be a good middle ground. Find a middle ground.
Yeah.
He was this close to trying to incorporate some sort of fan in his flight suit that would just circulate air throughout his suit. I'm like, I think you're going too far, but let me know
Well,
if you figure it out.
it's still in development. It's still in development. Spangler's workbench is in the closet. I'm working on it. We're gonna see what we can do for the other guys in San Antonio too, because we got some big boys. We got to do what we can.
Chris, let's hear from you, Chris. You're the founder of the Bay Colony Ghostbusters. Let us know how this idea came about. What started it all for you?
We actually started. It was let me see, hon. What year was it?
We started thinking about this stuff around September of 2015.
About September 2015.
Wow. All right.
And it all started out as just a Halloween costume, an idea that we had. And I was like, well, I was like, friends don't let friends wear inflatable proton packs. So no, can't do that. A buddy of mine did it and it looked severely goofy. So I said, if I'm gonna do the outfit, I'm gonna go all out and get it done, correct. And I ended up getting my first proton pack.
That's going on a shirt. Sorry to interrupt you. That's going on a shirt tomorrow. Friends don't let friends wear an inflatable proton pack.
That would be very bad.
I love that.
It was a meme I seen in one of the Ghostbusters groups about 5-6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, inflatable packs are definitely good for the kiddos. But now that we have Spirit Halloween producing a very legitimate product for a low price point, it is time, if you're enough fan, drop the $90, get the Spirit pack. Even if you don't mod it, it's better than wearing the inflatable. But we do appreciate anybody who suits up at any point, especially if you see us at our shows. Everybody's in different situations. I, however, am also not a huge fan of the inflatables, but I have a modded Spirit pack in the back. What did you guys do for yours? Did you guys do Spirits? Or did you guys go full size, or how did you guys come about your equipment?
Well, for a while, I actually used to. I was building proton packs. Just taking commissions by myself, and then it got to a point. Excuse me. It got to a point where I was getting more orders than I could keep up with, and it was just me doing it. And then we had an issue. So rather than just deal with complaints and people, trying to argue with me over my personal messenger, when I'm at work or something, I was just like, nope, I'm done. But I'm actually about to start putting them together again.
Awesome. Are you going to do that through Etsy, or what's your process though? Like, what are you using? You build them out of wood, or is it a resin cast?
I actually, the way that it was a collaboration of a bunch of different places that I would order everything from. Like as far as the metal pieces that in the kit for the pack and the wand, that was all from Ben off Kent, you know, which very straight shells, really nice, you know, and they're really thick and durable.
Oop.
But
He'll be back in a second.
I was gonna say we lost someone.
I hit my space bar. I'm sorry. Whenever I hit space bar, it disables
It
my camera.
happens. It happens.
But,
Hands away from the keyboard.
I never really, you know, I was never like working for any of the distributors I used. It was just people would give me the commission. Okay, what do you offer in your pack? You know, compared to others. Now I'd put like a positron kit inside there, like a Fincher smoke blowing kit in the end filter. You know, metal parts all around, things like that. I just wanted to make sure that like all the bells and whistles were in there for like whether you want movie, whether you want, you know, the pack to go off like a disco to the soundtracks or whatnot. I wanted to do something that just gave the best of everything, you know, in your standard Proton pack.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what was your price point, if you don't mind me asking?
At the time, they were about 2,400.
Yeah, and I've seen like variations of that. Like you can buy a kit for like 1,300, but if you want someone to really put it together for you and put the hard work into it and sourcing the parts and everything, it can go up there. And if you really want one and you know you don't want to put in the elbow grease, it just comes down to it. Hey, you want it? This is what I'm charging for it. Hey, take it or leave it. You know.
But the one that I have, you know, over here, this is actually from Keymaster Props from England.
So good.
I don't get the volume up because I don't want it to, you know, overwhelm the mic on the MacBook.
Sure.
But you know, it's still it's there. It's not the kit that I would use, but you know, it gets done what you need it to get done.
Absolutely. I love the light pattern on the cyclotron. That's pretty cool. You don't see that too often. Sort of that slow pace dimming of it. I like that.
I actually like the really fast cyclotron lights on Matt's pack.
Like Matt's got over there. Yeah.
Well, I mine has the because we're a friend of the show, Frank and Geek. Provided me with this kit, and he has the ability to you go into a mode where you can change the cyclotron and the power cell speed, so you can adjust them to how you want them to be. I had it a little bit faster now because of the Afterlife movie, but
that's exactly where we're going.
Yeah, with the ring light and everything like that. What about you, Ramon? What's your stuff look like? What are you rocking?
Real
Well,
quick.
this is the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, real quick
I
in the chat.
was just
Look
gonna
at
say
that.
real quick. We got to call it the chat here. Ivan says, "Foster, help me make a pack I wore recently at Fan Expo Boston. Good stuff." And Ramon, you got a fan in the
Hey,
chat.
Ivan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ramon,
it's Ivan and Mike.
cool.
Yeah. So
Let's
yeah,
go.
these two guys. Yeah, we when I was going to in New Hampshire and Massachusetts a lot, those two were and Chris were among many that I got together with and hung out with for different events or just even kicking it in Salem for Halloween, which is one of the most epic places to experience Halloween, by the way, if you haven't gone yet. Like
That
seriously,
sounds like it.
made it a tradition every year just to go down to Salem for Halloween. But
oh my God.
But as far as your question on equipment, I'm going through stage.
Ramon, let me just answer a question real quick. Hey, Ivan, if you need any work done, just bring it down and we'll get it tossed together.
Fantastic.
Look, we're doing customer service now. Look at this.
That's how we do. But
Ivan is Ivan and Mike Muscatello. Those are actually two people that I met first off, and Doug Fisher. A lot of people I haven't talked to in quite some time because I'm just going through my own physical stuff and whatnot. But yeah, everybody out here that I'm seeing commenting is people actually that like I saw what they were doing and they were like Ivan, Mike, seeing the directions they were going in was what actually drove me to start Bay Colony.
That's fantastic. And you have some more fans. Hello from South Dakota. The South Dakota team who joins us every single week. They're a fantastic bunch.
And,
Ramon.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Ramon, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually going through my second run of equipment that I call 2.0. 1.0 was I very slowly acquired over the course of my first couple of years into this. The pack I actually had, I ended up renting or trying on borrowing from a good friend of mine from the main Ghostbusters, Justin Hamner. Real cool dude, mad chill, laid back. For a small amount of time, I was rocking with the main guys, and one of his packs eventually, over time, he essentially just passed it down, and over the course, it's gone through a number of maintenance, which can be a bit questionable because and Chris can vouch for that. There's my lack of experience building packs definitely showed in this one, but I mean it was good to wear. It was. I mean, eventually I ended up getting full equipment, and I would not go to a single event without wearing everything. So I kind of gave myself the title of heavy equipment tech because I just like carrying all the heavy equipment. And then as far as 2.0 goes, I'm in the same boat with Chris. The Keymaster Props Proton Pack.
Yeah, those are beautiful too. They're beautiful.
I got a new fully functioning ghost trap. The first trap I had was just more for something to wear on the belt, but the one I have right now is a full trap, pedal, cord, operational. That one was from Blind Wolf Cosplay in the UK, and for a functioning trap, it wasn't bad, and he 3D printed. He made it strong enough to where I could wear it on the belt, but still can lay it out and perform a demonstration if need be.
Yeah, wasn't Blind Wolf the guy who? I feel like I remember Blind Wolf also used to have. I don't think he carries it anymore, but he used to have an awesome PKE meter.
I saw that.
Yeah, so he used to have one that was like even better than the because the Matty PKE is kind of like the best of the best right now as far as what you see out in cosplay, but his was like even more dialed in than that one.
Absolutely. Yeah, Matty Collector one was still at the moment my top favorite to grab for PKE. At the moment right now I'm rocking a Spirit PKE, but it's like I said, it's sitting in my holster. It does it.
Yeah, I have that in there as well. And I'm hoping that at some point we'll get a kit maker like you'll see like a Ninja Tunes or a Franken Geek or somebody like that to make a PKE meter. It just doesn't have enough space inside for the kit. And so I'm hoping at some point we can figure that out because the Spirit one isn't bad. And you can easily kind of square off the bottom of it. It does the job enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that Matty one, when you hold a Matty one, it's like, oh my gosh, this is completely different. It has a different feel to it.
Oh, and I wanted to give a good shout out to my friend Enzo. At the moment, well, he's a friend of mine I connect with in Italy, I believe. And Enzo, if you're on here, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's actually working on a prototype PKE meter. Um, I've seen a couple of his videos on YouTube. It's pretty intense. Like the whole thing is built from the ground up. It has its own built-in CPU system, so you can cycle through different accurate effects from the films to the real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, and maybe even added some additional features. Um,
Wow.
and one other one that actually stuck out was the EMF mode, where he built in a fully functioning EMF detector. So
Wow. Yeah.
so you could literally bring this thing on an actual paranormal investigation and detect energy with it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
Stop the show! Stop the show!
No, no, but that's
So
that's
I'm
really
kind
good.
of maybe negotiating to get one eventually, but I mean it's one of those things where like the patience
Now, can you repeat
pay
all of what
off.
you just said, Ramon, in English?
I've seen the ones
So it's a
that do Wi-Fi detection. Like
oh
it
yeah,
has a Wi-Fi detector, so as the strength of the Wi-Fi increases or decreases, so
oh
like if
that's
you're at a
cool.
con, it'll go up and down based on the Wi-Fi. But to actually get the EMF, that's pretty crazy.
And there's like another function where you can switch between manual and automatic. So if like automatic mode, it will like in the video it showed like the wings opening and closing on its own. You didn't have to hit any buttons or anything, and the
Wow,
EMF would function the same way.
hell yeah.
That's insane. And the minute you hear anything or you see a video of it in, doing its thing, we want to hear about it. So, like, give us the deets whenever those come around, please.
Absolutely, I kind of indirectly volunteered to be his little equipment guinea pig and stuff whenever he finished. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
good. I mean,
accidentally. Oops. Yeah, I'll test. I'll test out your new stuff.
I saw the video for the first time. I'm just like, oh, okay, that okay, my mind's made up. Let's
Yeah,
okay, take my money. There you go.
It
yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't get better than that. Yeah. Uh,
Right.
Terry is in the chat. She says, "Chris, tell me about your Moogly with trap background on your wall. What is
Yeah, with
that?"
the caution tape there.
Okay. I didn't understand the question. That is actually it's an old Bay Colony door magnet. We had an Ecto one at one time, but unfortunately the motor block cracked. So
Oh no.
that like kind of took the wind out of our sails for a good portion of time. And then we couldn't like get out to the events. We couldn't do everything that we wanted to do. So
Yeah.
the car like really that put a damper on things.
Yeah, but now you got at least a piece of memorabilia, and guess what? There's more cars out there. It'll come around. It'll come around. You guys will get it.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
like to do a Dodge Magnum.
Ooh.
Yeah. And our leader, our fearless leader, Rob, he has a Ford Flex. It looks really good on a Ford Flex. I've seen like a couple of cars because like I'm thinking now I haven't driven in a long time because I lived in a bigger city than the one I'm living in now, and I was able to take public transportation. So, but it's looking like I'm going to have to get back on the road again, and so I've been looking all around at these cars, and everything I see now looks like I could turn it into an Ecto One. It doesn't matter what car it is. It doesn't matter where it's at. Now, instead of like picking out, just regular cars on the road, I'm looking like, ooh, that would look like a good Ecto. Oh, I could probably turn that into an Ecto. That's like my whole brain is just warped into that now.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Let's see.
any car can be turned into an act.
Real quick, Damon's in the chat. He says he did one time build a slime blower, but only 2 flashing lights. Everything else was just plywood, foam tube, and some PVC pipe. And when he was first wearing it, he says it's heavy. And then sadly, he said disregard that last part. But yeah, I will one day either build or wear a slime blower out into events. I feel like that's something I have to check off on my checklist one of these days. But yeah,
Paxton Christie, also a friend of the show, Paxton Christie, South Dakota Ghostbusters. I think he's built one. Um, I'd like to see one in the group as well. I'm not wearing it. No way.
if I wear one, it's got to work to some degree. Like just shoot bubbles with like green lights at the end of it. That way, it kind of is perceived as some type of slime. Like I will work on it. We'll make it. We'll make
It'd
it
be
happen.
cool. Like I've been thinking about making a proton pack that I could put a bottle inside, a fifth, and pour shots through the neutrona wand. It'd be cool to do like something like that on a the slime tanks as well. Like maybe like a like 2 bottles of champagne are tucked inside of it, and you can. It'd be kind of cool. That's all I'm saying.
Bryce says, "Pink silly string." I'm down. Ivan says the same
Silly
thing. Put
string.
a silly string shooter in the slime blower nozzle. Yeah,
But you would
that
need a
actually would
couple.
work
You
even
would need a
better.
couple of cans though, because you wouldn't want just one little tiny string coming out of this massive thing. It
And
would-
also the reason why I say bubbles is because like I don't want to clean up afterwards, and I don't want somebody being like, "Hey, those Ghostbusters left a mess like all over the sidewalk." So
it's
yeah,
like it's really just like an insulation thing,
pretty
like the
much.
foam insulation.
If I was ever to put a slime blower together, for me, due to weight purposes, I'd probably have to make it out of like a thin wall, like I just had the name of it, PVC. There we go.
There you go.
Like PVC tubing or something light. When my pack was built, it was actually built to accommodate, weight limitations up on my shoulder and whatnot. So it was made as light as humanly possible. So it's about 25.3 pounds, which is half of what the packs I made weighed, or almost 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah. And then we've been seeing a lot of innovation with the RC trap and all of those things. I'm really anxious to see what we do with the Spirits Unleashed video game. Some advancements
Yes.
in the technology,
Yes.
and
Oh, that looks
and
so sick.
and I appreciate Jason Reitman for not taking too far of steps in Afterlife. He did adjust the equipment a little bit, but he didn't take too many liberties. But and we appreciate that because we don't want to be shocked, right? We want to kind of live in our nostalgia for that first movie back. But I wouldn't mind them advancing some things in this next movie of
Yeah.
just taking the technology a little bit further. Ernie Hudson, he's got money in this movie now, right? I mean, Winston Zeddemore he's a billionaire, so I'm wondering how the technology will increase in that next movie too. I can't wait to see what the 3D printed Ghostbuster group does with that, because I'm sure you guys have seen some of the work that they've done. But equipment is what the Ghostbusters live for. We don't have superpowers, so we need our equipment. So I can't wait to see the next iterations of that.
Well, I mean, at the end of Afterlife, the last scene they show you in the credits is the containment unit and the red lights blinking, which we all know that that's just no good,
Yeah.
So
something's about to happen.
Yeah.
My guess is, so now they probably have Gozer and the hundreds of ghosts they caught in the dirt farm, with all that like negative energy, if that's already loaded in there, I mean, I have a feeling that it's going to be something, I'm guessing with the next movie will be something with a failure, but I want to see what they're going to do to tweak it out to make it better.
If you ask me, some of my favorite episodes of the animated series, the animated show, was when I think there was one or a few episodes where they had to go into the containment unit and go into that pocket dimension, and I feel like we're ready for something like that. We're ready for them getting into parallel dimensions or pocket dimensions, where we can explore more of a spirit landscape and really stretch the imagination on what they can do with a Ghostbusters film. I want to see something different, and I know we can't jump too far away from the source material or the movies that came before it, but I want to see the franchise reach its full potential, and I feel like that's one element that would really push it forward, is getting into another dimension, a ghost realm, the containment
People
unit.
Busters.
There you go. I'm
People
down. I want to
Busters.
see it. I want to see it.
I did a full People Buster look for a time, and yeah, that thing was intense, and heavy, all that slime carrying and everything. It was pretty heavy. Gonna have to do some
That's a good cosplay, though.
invest- it is.
Did you guys see the recent one? I don't know how closely you follow some of the pages, but the Ecto Glow Peter Venkman. Yeah,
Was that Gamescom?
I'm not sure. Ghostbusters News put it together, and this guy had an incredible. If I could find it here, I'm going to pull it up. This was one of the best cosplays I think I've seen in a really long time. If somebody in the chat
I think I
has
know
it,
what you're talking about.
yeah, you
I
know
think I
what
know.
I'm talking about.
It's like it's like he encased himself in the glow in the dark Venkman, and everything
Yeah,
was exactly how the action figure is. And then he has he's wearing another I think is the pack also glow like the glow in the dark style and stuff, and the
There it is.
yeah there it is, yeah.
yeah.
It's like
And
right
look
on
at this.
point with the oh yeah, oh my gosh, that thing's so awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I love it when people do. And this is it compared to the actual Kenner figure, but I love it when people go um, that far with their cosplay. I'd like to see something like that as well. I think with the containment unit and everything, the real Ghostbusters opened us up a new realm because by starting a TV show during that time, they had to have a Scooby Doo type character. So they turned Slimer from an enemy into a friend of the team, and that was the guy who was able to sort of go back into the containment unit, and sort of that was his utility. So I would like to see them explore some of those ideas, which would also work with the original Ghostbusters 3 script of the alternate realm and dimension that we also kind of dealt with in the video game a little bit. So I'd like to
Yep.
see them kind of take it down that route. I'd like to see what happens in the beginning because we know trouble's coming. But what that trouble is, I don't want Vigo the Carpathian. I don't want another Gozer.
No,
No Vigo.
Yeah,
No
no,
Vigo.
please
yeah,
no, do something new, do something fresh, new, that
yeah,
we could all come together with the OGs, and then the new team that's gathering the torch. Let's I mean, do like they do with Muncher. Like Muncher was a whole brand new ghost we've never
yeah,
seen before, and I'm sure we'll probably still get seen Slimer when we end up going back for the next part. But yeah, let's do something different. Let's start fresh and give us new challenges to face
yeah.
that we never
And if
really
you're
encountered before.
and if we want to include GB2, because I feel like that was a little bit left out of Afterlife, not all
Hmm.
fully, but kind of. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting if Oscar came back? And if Oscar did come back, would you want him to be on the Ghostbuster side, or would you want him to be maybe the villain?
You want Oscar back so bad. You bring him up every time.
But Oscar, it would be awesome if Oscar came back. He,
I mean, in part two, he was kind of connected to the villain side and everything. So it would be good to see a heroic role from him, and picking up the mantle as Peter's stepson or step nephew or whichever, and picking up the family business and joining the Spanglers, with and Winston with the company. I mean, we see when Winston goes back to the fire hall, we see the Ecto-1 being driven into the garage by somebody, but we don't know who it is.
Mhm.
Right.
It'd be
So,
cool to see Oscar. That's all I'm saying. I think it would be.
I was
Well,
praying for that to be Luis. Like, please let it be Luis coming out of that
Yeah.
car. But no, it didn't happen.
I mean, I would imagine with with Venkman's, have fun with that attitude.
Yeah. If he was kind of the new Venkman of the team, where he was sort of the dry, sarcastic sort of attitude, because he had been kind of raised by Venkman, you would assume.
I mean, the point I'm getting to is, I honestly think it's Ray driving the car in, because the main upkeep was always Winston and Ray, because they had all that mechanical knowledge.
Yeah, they were the blue collar guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, Winston now he's a billionaire now, but
Right?
hey, we all go separate ways in life, I guess. But
Yeah.
I was on a point and I lost it.
That happens to the best of us.
It's old age, I think.
Yeah, and all that knowledge you have put into all that equipment and everything. You guys have been awesome, and we certainly appreciate having you guys on. And we want to keep sharing this. So when it gets out there, share it to your pages. If you know of any other groups, definitely send them our way, because we want to feature a new group every single week and keep the love going. We're leading up to Halloween. It's our time of the year. I keep saying this on every episode, but it is. And it's our time. Is if we can band together, then we can do something really awesome this Halloween potentially, or even into the Christmas season. So I definitely appreciate you guys for coming on.
Yeah. I want to hear
Happy
some
to
more
hear.
stories about your chapter. Why don't you gentlemen both let us know, and let everybody watching know, what have been some of your favorite moments or favorite events with the team? What have you done in the past that you really loved, or what is your most memorable moment of being on the team? Chris, why don't you let us know first?
I honestly would have to say it was my I think my second year doing the parade, 2017. I was God, what about I think about 9 months 9 months sober at that time. I had just quit drinking, and everybody was oh, we're gonna come up to Boston and get a hotel, and I'm like, well, why don't you guys all just crash at my house?
I
So we
remember
had,
that.
Ramon was there. We had the Ghostbusters, New Jersey, with Tom Gidhart. He was here, and he had his guys. But it was just, we had we have like this big gathering usually the night before the parade. And I mean, the gathering, it was my first time at a bar since I quit drinking. So I was like, I was like, this is, I hope this isn't a tough one. And then I walked in and just like, yeah, let me get a soda, whatever you got, So they brought me a soda and I was good, and then it was just like everybody hanging out. We were all having a good time, laughing, and it was just like one of the best events that I've done. I would say, as far as like the the brother and sisterhood of the franchises. That was one of the it still is. It'll always be the best event that I've done so far.
Love hearing that. Yeah, absolutely. It must be great. All those chapters coming together. We've had some event last year that was kind of similar, had 5 or 6 chapters from all over the state come together. So that's wonderful going through that. Ramon, what about you? What's been one of your most memorable or favorite events so far?
Well, one of them, I'll definitely agreeing with Chris on that one. That night was it had so much charge. Yeah, the night before that it was a good bonding moment and everything. And just leading into the next day, like into the parade, like when you are coming together before the actual event, that just makes the event that much more energized, that much more epic. Um, and just and then like that whole experience of walking through the main streets of Boston with everyone coming together there, and it just like all that positivity just amplifies you and spikes your adrenaline and just keeps you pushing forward. So I mean that's one that I feel that I will always cherish, especially every year whenever I go to those parades. Aside from that, I would have to definitely say when we make it down to Salem for events throughout the month of October for sure. Um, it's just I don't even know if there's a way to explain just how awesome the feeling is like walking around there, and like there'll be like a small group of us. So in the whole fantasy like universe of it and everything, it's kind of like we're like the only defense for Salem for All Hallows Eve. So you got like just a small group of us versus this type of group of supernatural beings from this genre, this one over here. I mean, one one of my favorite moments and slightly terrifying was spotting a identical replica Jason Voorhees singling me out throughout the entire group, like literally mask and machete locked onto me, and I'm having to ask my squad mates like, hey, grab my phone, like this crossover battle is gonna be epic. I actually turned it into my cover photo on my Facebook page. Caught at just the right moment, and then another friend of mine, Peter, he goes by Peter Ivan Vankman on Facebook. He went in and actually did the streams, the Proton streams, and it just makes it pop out even more. So, just moments like those, it's just especially when you can make families and communities like we can bring their positive energy out and help them enjoy themselves and have a good time. It just makes it that much more worth it.
Absolutely, it means the world. And Ivan's also chipping in here. He says Bay Colony did a movie in the park in Methuen with the Salem Ghostbusters. He says that was pretty good. And he also says, or was it Medfield? One of those cities that starts with an M. And then he also says Salem is a pretty fun place to be a Ghostbuster, especially on Halloween. I can't even imagine. It's got to be so fun and amazing and just epic to just play into the lore of the town and everything. It's got to be on a whole nother level. I can't imagine. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ivan, our friends, all of us together, me, Chris, Ivan, Neil Devlin, Mike Muscatel, all of us, like we had this
about the event that we have planned, so they kind of know what we're talking about.
So this will be about going on 7 years now. For me personally, it's been roughly about 7 years that I'll be going back to Salem for Halloween. So we've actually put together a event on Halloween night. We lit it as a Ghostbusters patrol in Salem on All Hallows Eve. Essentially just reaching out and gathering as many that is interested in joining us down for the night. We'll probably end up being down there roughly about 6 in the evening, just while things are starting to wind down and get good. The sun's starting to come down, so he's got a little bit of daylight left right before darkness falls, and that was a very good setting to kind of set the whole mood of the theme of the gathering of being the last defense. We're at, I think at the moment we're at over 100 people either interested or going already. That was the last time I checked. It was like about 103. So it's getting up there. But
That's
this
awesome.
this is going to be our first full time back. Well, for me it would be 7 years. With full gear, going as a squad and just roaming the streets of Salem, or just doing a full on event altogether.
I mean,
That's amazing.
the first event we actually well, Ramon threw we had an idea to have a gathering, and Ramon threw the event together. He put the event together for Halloween night, but that's actually about the first event we've been able to actually do since the lockdown. We were hoping to get out earlier, but our the rest of our order with Keymaster, we're still waiting on one more proton pack, some belt gizmos, Motorola MT500, and a few other things I ordered for spares and whatnot.
Gotcha. And so we also want people to know what charities you guys have either worked with, partnered with, supported. What are some of the events or the charities that you guys have focused on with your time with the Bay Colony Ghostbusters?
Well, what we've done is mainly like when we do the St. Patrick's Day parade, the city for us attending and being there as entertainment, they donate to. I believe I was told it was $500 to. I think one year I did it. It was the Jimmy Fund, or that might just be who they donate every year. I'm not 100% sure. That would be that's more of something that actually the Ghostbusters of Massachusetts,
Okay.
or the Massachusetts Ghostbusters, whichever. I'll just say it both ways so I don't get it wrong.
There you go. You can't be wrong that way, right? And then what about upcoming events? We want people to find you guys. So where can they find you on social media? Also, what events do you guys have already planned where people can support you? Let us know.
We, other than Salem, it's usually that's about when the season up here, because it's really cold, and sometimes those temperatures can drop, and depending on what your shell is made out of, you don't want it to get too brittle. So we'll be winding down. I guess the next event after that will be the St. Patrick's Day parade, which is the season kickoff. So we're hoping to have some stuff lined up. I don't know what the restrictions are. I have to look into it, but we want to start like doing visits up at like Children's Hospital, or any hospital around the neighborhood with a pediatric unit.
Absolutely. That's always wonderful. So where can people find you on Facebook? Are you guys under Bay Colony or Salem? How can they find Chris and Ramon and the entire team?
It's under the Bay Colony Ghostbusters of Massachusetts. We do have a Facebook page. People, you can give us a like, and there's videos, pictures, all kind of there's a few things out on there. Well, probably more than a few, but a lot of events. It depends. It's like if we join another group that organized an event, I don't want to like take the wind out of their sails and make it look like I planned it.
I gotcha. Makes sense.
It's like we help with the cause, but in all reality, it's the Massachusetts Ghostbusters that really put all of that stuff together. But I would like to I want to look into becoming affiliated with St. Jude's.
Yes.
That would be my top goal.
That's a fantastic organization. They do a lot of great events in our hometown. So yeah, I highly recommend them. Anybody in the chat, anybody that if you're watching this at a later time, if you have a good contact for St. Jude's, shoot them over to Chris and Ramon. with the Bay Colony Ghostbusters. Make that partnership happen. And gentlemen, before we let you guys go, let us know for sure anything else you want to say out there to everybody watching, everybody listening. But also, last year, the Ghostbusters social media main page put together in a very short amount of time a toy drive during December, and a lot of chapters got involved, and it was a great event. The New York team did an entire live stream showcasing all of the toy drives that people were doing across the country. So whether or not they do it again, we'd like to also invite you to duplicate that same toy drive this coming winter with us, with the other teams that have already joined in, Cincinnati, South Dakota, where we're putting the word out there, whether or not
Yeah.
it's going to be an official Ghostbusters um, event toy drive done by the main page, the main social media account. We're just going to make sure it happens regardless. So
20 chapters. 20 chapters.
hopefully we'll also include you guys, and if you're willing to, you'll also be a part of this toy drive that we hope will be another major success come this December.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I would love to jump on board with.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely. Ivan's in the chat. Ivan says that time with the Salem Ghostbusters where you were supporting the Clean River Project. Ooh, tell us about that.
Oh, the Clean River Project. That was by Rocky Morrison. So in his area, he set up this project to where they essentially dredge the river and pick up any type of waste whatsoever that got thrown in it. And they found a number of just major randoms that you would never think of. They've had to pull out cars from the river. They've pull out like you name it, like anything that would sink to the bottom and cause pollution to the water. They're working hard to try to get that river in their area completely cleared of all contaminants, whether it be solid, metal, or whichever. There was, Ivan and Mike know about this as well, that Rocky did also volunteer for this place called Canopy Lake Park. Every October they had like a haunted themed park where a number of baddies, and for making a donation to the Clean River Project, we all gathered with Rocky, and he also had this fairly close to accurate replica of the 59 Cadillac Ecto-1 that we drove in, and just kind of hung out around the park, and were a small presence, especially to any kids that were really scared and stuff. We would kind of make them laugh so that way they'd be all right.
Make them feel better.
But they had a number of very well put together actors that would just walk around the park and just be a presence while people would go and experience the haunted rides or haunted houses, whichever. But yeah, it essentially goes towards the funds for keeping the Clean River Project up and going, and them being able to go in and get as much cleaned up as possible.
I love it.
Yeah, Ivan was part of it. And I believe Michael Muscatel was a part of that, and just anybody that they could get to just volunteer.
I was supposed to go up to that one, but that was the year that the car kicked on me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I got stuck at work.
Ivan also chimes in that Rocky has two 84 Ecto replicas. Wow. And he has one 2016 Ecto replica. Good Lord. Rocky's got quite a collection going on.
Garage full.
When it comes to Ghostbusters, like his cosplay is focused on the cars more.
That's gonna be Matt soon, right, Matt?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see.
The car is the hardest.
Don't time me anything.
What was that, Chris?
The finding the right car it's very hard.
It
You
is.
know, I mean, there's only like it was someone was telling me less than I think 97 ectos or 59 millimeters left in the world, and Sony owns 3 of them.
Hmm.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really. And if you do find one, there's not going to be much left of it. So it's like you might as well just commission a Cadillac to build it for you because it's going to
Yeah.
cost you about that much to fix it.
I wonder why no one has really kitted that out yet, because it doesn't actually have to be. All you have to do is find a chassis, and you should be able to buy kits. Like, for example, if I wanted to go buy a Knight Rider car, there's kits online that I could go buy as long as I have the right chassis, and I could make a Knight Rider car without it having to be the actual one. I'm wondering why someone hasn't really hit that market yet with the Ecto One, and sort of make kits for cars to make it look that way, as long as you have the right chassis. So hopefully somebody picks that up. Maybe that's your calling there, Chris. Maybe you can maybe you can put that together.
I feel like Chris can pull that off. If anybody can pull that off, Chris can pull that off.
The funny thing is, right out of high school, 18 right out of high school, I'm back in school learning mechanics. So I actually started out as I started life out as a mechanic, and then you know, it was kind of a thing with people. Are you sure you know what you're doing? It's like, nope, never seen a car before in my life.
Yeah.
I think it's your blinker fluid or your muffler bearings. We'll check those out. And it's just like, why are you coming to me if you question my ability?
Yeah.
But then I actually I got into law enforcement, and that's still going on. I got a couple of big surgeries coming up, so I'll be on medical leave for a little bit.
Well, hopefully all is well, and I also hope that on your resume there's no environmental protection agency. So
We'll keep
Oh,
that
no.
completely clear. That no. We've gone through that. We don't need to.
Yeah, no, I don't like going with the acronyms.
We're not supposed to mention them. Very bad luck.
It's no good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Chris, Ramon, this has been a fantastic episode. It's been a pleasure talking with you both. Everyone in the chat, show the Bay Colony Ghostbusters some love. Let them know you enjoy what they're doing. Let them know they're doing a good job. If you're in the Northeast area and you want a team to partner with and put an event together, check out these guys. They've been around for years. They know what they're doing, and put them to work. Let's do that. Let's put them to
Yeah.
work, and let's
Always
spread
willing
some
to work.
more positive energy
Bryce,
around the world.
Bryce says Team Ramon. Oh no, I shared the wrong one.
My bad.
It's okay. We did it at the
keep
same
doing
time.
Bryce says
It's-
Team Ramon.
we had that moment where it's like you're unlocking the car and I'm going to open the door, but I can't open it because I did it too early.
There you go. There you go. Ivan says you guys are doing a good job. Bryce also says Team Chris.
Bingo bongo.
That is
But
so cool.
no one is over Team Terry. Everyone in the chat, Team Terry is still alive. Team TERRI. Put it everywhere. Any Ghostbusters merch you make or is Team Terry until the end of the year. We're gonna make this movement happen. All right.
She runs a tight ship over with the South Dakota team. So,
Yeah.
gentlemen, I want to thank you both again for taking the time to chat with us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, gentlemen. And this coming December, be on the lookout for the toy drive, Ghostbusters Chapter Toy Drive. We're all going to unite. We're all going to put together a great cause to bring joy and put smiles on the faces of kids in our communities. More to come from that. We will organize as many chapters as we can, and we're gonna let everybody run with it and
20.
use their creative ideas to make it successful wherever you guys are at. So, Chris, Ramon, thanks again for joining us. Thanks everybody for watching and for commenting and joining us in the chat. Bryce, also, I see you with the 200 stars. I really appreciate that. We appreciate you a lot, Bryce. And Matt, anything else, sir?
No, the only thing that I have left to do is to crush this can because it was a successful show.
There you
Can I
go.
give a shout out?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, wanted to give a shout out to a few groups that had a big part in us, finding out about the universe of Ghostbusters and how big it really is. Because I mean, if I had known this stuff was going on 20 years ago when I was young and fit, I would have been doing it then. But first group that I ever joined was Negate with Ivan.
Yeah, I was also part of Negate, Northeast Ghostbusters Alliance Task Force Ecto.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
We did a little short.
And the Arkham Ghostbusters. I mean, those are the three groups that we've been like the most like tight knit with. So I mean, those are the guys that I don't mind going out and doing an event if I'm able to make the event.
Awesome. And
I'd also like
I
to
don't
make
know
a shout out too, if I could.
go for it. Yeah.
So, in addition to Negate, I also want to make a shout out to the main Ghostbusters because they were the very first group that I started with, and I wouldn't have known about this universe if I hadn't met them. Then comes Negate, then comes Arkham Ghostbusters, and then Bay Colony, and Ghostbusters in Massachusetts. And also, there's some current groups I want to make a shout out to because there's some that I've met from areas I've moved. Most I've already mentioned, but another one out here in Springfield, Illinois, Ghostbusters, Springfield, Illinois. They're a good bunch out there, and it was really fun to hang out with them and the Biker Buster as well as the Bearded Buster, and then the Gunny Buster. I met all of them out here in Illinois, and getting the same exact vibe and energy as I get on the East Coast out here. So they're definitely help me feel welcome where I am currently. So
nice, and we
That
love
is
that.
awesome.
We love that. And anytime that you need any help or they need any help promoting anything, certainly reach out to us and we'll feature it on the show. We'll do anything that we can to help you guys. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Hershey's Ghostbusters who sent me this beautiful patch. And anybody who comes on and wants and has a patch and they want to send it, I'm working on a project right now for everybody that we have on to sort of put everything together and be able to represent it when I go out. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have a patch or not. If you're not, whatever, doesn't matter. But anybody in the chat, if you're listening, DM me and then I'll send me a patch and we're going to put something really cool together, especially for our toy drive. 20 chapters is the goal. 20 chapters is the goal, folks. We can get it together, and I think you guys will help me too. Right, Ramon? Right, Chris?
Absolutely. And I forgot.
That's great. I'll send it to you.
There it is.
I forgot to mention also the Windy City Ghostbusters and the Gateway City Ghostbusters.
What are you flipping through a Rolodex right now, Ramon? Jeez.
there's a bit of a handful out here in the Midwest. Okay, I'm done. I promise I'm done.
All right.
No. That's so cool.
Yeah,
it's great to meet like-minded, passionate fans who are all focusing their energy on doing some good in their community. I mean, I'm not trying to say that no other fan bases do this, but it's great that the Ghostbusters fandom has these pockets of groups all over the country, and what we need to do is unite more. There's strength in numbers,
Absolutely.
and we need to
We're a
100%.
unite
family.
more.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
We're a family.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. This has been a great episode. Thanks again to everybody in the chat. Thanks again to our guests, Chris and Ramon. Been fantastic talking with you, gentlemen. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Ghost Heads Radio Show. Once again, my name is Ted, aka Steady, and with me, as always, is my co-partner here, Maddie B.
Woo! We're going. We're on our way to 20. I think we got 5 in. We only need 15 more. That's no time at all. Anybody you know, get them out there. Let's go, boys and girls and people.
There you go. Have a great night, everybody. Bustin' makes us feel good.